Welcome to Fragmented Pixels. In today's video, I look at Street Fighter 6's latest character, A.K.I, the meaning behind her name, and my own opinions on the design. Let's analyze this character design. The color accents seen on this design are red, black, purple, and white. Now these colors have a lot of connotations based on different cultures in different contexts. Black in the context of this design seems to pose a negative connotation. She's an evil character, evil aligned character in particular, and black colors generally veer into darkness. I think the color black was a perfect choice for the overall design as an accent. Her design references snakes, from the Black Mamba-inspired snakeskin leather to the slim, snake-like physique of A.K.I. Her hair resembles an umbrella. She wears a customized open-back CHEONGSAM, which has a red trim. She also wears skin-tight trousers, which also has a red trim, and wears sharp metal claw gauntlets seen on each finger to accentuate her long, sharp purple nails. Now, whether you pronounce her name in Chinese Mandarin way or the Japanese way, it's still correct because these languages at times do have translingual moments where there are characters that have similar meanings but they are different languages. But let's get into the meaning of her name using Hanzi characters and a bit of pinyin to help us. In Mandarin Chinese, her name is pronounced as A.K.I. If we break this down, A is a prefix used generally in front of surnames or the last character of someone's given name to express familiarity. So it's generally a prefix used to show general respect, right? So for example, we have this word, Aba, which means dad. So that's an example of the prefix used in general usage, which I found quite interesting considering the character is completely the opposite. But anyway, let's get into the second part. The second part is Gui, generally means ghost in Chinese. It can also mean demon, sly. There are all these negative connotations, hence why we have this eerie, ghost-like, demon-like, even menacing energy from this character. Now let's look into the meaning of her name using kanji and romaji to help us. The first character is A, which is the go-on and kan-on reading of the character in Japanese. Ki. These characters both mean the same thing in both languages, as I've said previously, but this either uses the go-on or kan-on reading of the character. The kun reading of Ki is Oni, which means demon. The character, I think, is generally associated with the kun reading. So same thing, just different readings in regards to Ki. Further clarification, this name has nothing to do with the Japanese word Aki, meaning autumn, bright or clear crystal. There is no character in this to even symbolize that. So there you go, translingual characters. Now A.K.I wears a CHEONGSAM. Now a CHEONGSAM is essentially a Chinese dress, but in the context of this design it seems customized and it shows a lot of her body. Because there's a lack of a top, it does show a bit of her midriff, maybe to make her a bit attractive. Now on the front of the CHEONGSAM, it features tassels below the collarbone region and features a snakeskin print with a red trim. Again, it exposes some midriff due to a lack of a top, and seems to feature purple arm-length lace gloves that extend up to her middle finger. The red bow accent continues on with her wrist, so you see both red bows on each wrist. It showcases that accent of having red tassels and detailing in red colours. On the back, there is much to be desired, if you will. Open back CHEONGSAM, it exposes majority of her back and then closes in on the rest of her body. They are skin-tight black trousers with the red trim. There's not much going on there, but it continues the theme of the CHEONGSAM. They also feature a snakeskin print. There's black Chinese slippers with a red bow accent that continues the accent that we see with the wrists. Let's get into her accessories. Although they're quite simple and minimal, accentuate the design of the character. She wears red tassel earrings on both ears. She wears jewelry on her wrist, which I think elongates into mini daggers when she fights because it looks like daggers or some kind of little metal weapon that comes out when that occurs. What interested me the most about this design were the nail gauntlets that perhaps could be inspired by this piece of Chinese history. Nail guards are an accessory worn by Chinese women. They originated from the Ming dynasty but became popular in the Qing dynasty. In fact, both men and women of nobility in ancient China wore their nails long. This was to symbolize wealth, as it meant they didn't have to do manual labor, work for strenuous hours. And it's still a sign of that in today's culture. I'm going to look at this a bit further. Gauntlets are slim metal clawed ones that are seen on each finger to accentuate her sharp purple nails. And as we know, she's an assassin, so they are filled with poison. She likes to kill her victims using some kind of warped Chinese medicine. The tips of the claws are purple. Small purple beaded jewelry adorn the gauntlets as well. The shape of them makes them look like poison ivies or even rose thorns. This flowery imagery that we see of the character with that juxtaposition of the assassin-like imagery. Her hair is short and white in colour with a sharp undercut. It looks a lot like a mushroom, even though it is meant to represent an umbrella, the symbol of an assassin. According to game director Taka Nakayama, he said that her distinctive hairstyle incorporates the symbol of an assassin, kasa, meaning umbrella in Japanese. I don't agree with the hair looking like that. I don't know if it matches. I think they could have tried a different hairstyle, and I understand that reference to the assassin imagery, but the hairstyle is a no for me. I'm not sure about the mushroom looking hair. Outside of that, I actually think the character is quite interesting. She's a character that you could see in another game, but not Street Fighter. But it does give me SF3 vibes, where they just went in and just said, yeah, this is a Street Fighter character. I think it's a cool design, but I just feel like if it was applied in a different game or context, I think it would be very fire. But overall though, it's a nice design. Loving the accents with the purple, with the blacks, the reds and the white. They kept it quite simple, minimal, to the point. Jory Han is tame. This character seems crazier than her in so many different ways. That was my analysis on A.K.I's character design for Street Fighter 6. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.